Let's now focus on the app part. So first I told you that you will have to write pip install Django, pip install Django in your, I said before, pip install Django, you write it in your CMD. Likewise, you will have Django admin start Django admin start project. Start project you will write, and then you will write my project, any name you will write. And after getting along with all this, and yes, after doing this installation and after writing your project, after getting a series of files, when you write this, though it will not be visible, but then this is what actually happens there. And then after that you will make an app. For that you write python manage.py, manage.py start app. Now you start my app python, you say to your python, and you can name any app, any name you can give. So once you write this, you will have your directory, which is nothing but you will have your any app name that you give, and along with that you have your migrations. I'll be letting you know what migrations are. So once you run this command, my app, once you run this command, you will be getting these things in your VS Code or any editor that you'll be using on. So you have my migrations, and then you'll have init.py again, init.py, and then you'll have your admin.py. So there's no hyphen here, so it is just admin.py, admin.py, and then you'll also have your apps.py, and then as in when you have your models.py. Likewise, you'll have your tests.py, and then you'll also have your views.py. So once you're done with mentioning python manage.py start app and any app name that you give, you'll be having your init function in python, and then you'll have the migrations, you'll have your it is like a directory. So once you run this actually comes in your folder that was actually been discussed. So you have admin, and then you have apps, and then you have models, and then you have test, and then you also have your views. Now let us just get along with every single thing here. So what each and everything means. So we have models.py, right? Models.py. So what happens here in models.py is that you will be having all your databases here. So all your databases will be present here in your models.py. सारे के सारे जो भी डेटाबेसेस हैं ये models.py फंक्शनैलिटी या फिर models.py मॉड्यूल में प्रेजेंट है. So all these are your modules. Okay, all these are your modules. So here you have your models.py. Within models.py you will have, it is a module. So all these are your modules except your init, which is nothing but your directory. I'll tell you, because I told that and it is actually that directory which actually contains all the python. It states that it is your python thing, because python is running, it will tell you. And now you have models.py, where this module, all these are your modules, views, urls, your tests, your views, all these are your models. So here in these models, you will have models which contains your databases, and then your views.py, this module, all these are your modules. Modules is different, model is different. Modules matlab सारे का सारा, this is the complete pack that you have, the structure, complete structure you have. एक module है, complete kind of a book like thing is your module, and in that module you will have pages. So those pages can be termed as your models, your views, all these can be your pages. So all these are your modules, which is a bunch of a thing, and within which you will have this test, views and all. So let us get along with what views are. So views contains all your logical part. So logic it contains all your logic. For example, if you send request to the server, you should get the response. So that logic which is there, no, request response logic, and then you request, the sender request it to the receiver. So once it requests, it will go to the API, they will fetch the data, and then it is been again sent to the sender by the receiver. So all these request response, the logic thing that happens here, it happens in your views.py. And then you also have your admin.py. Admin, the name itself suggests that it is the admin, which means that the register modules to be managed through Django admin interface, all these it contains. So whatever the modules are there, whatever modules you have registered, these should be managed with your admin.py itself. Okay, so it should be managed. So the modules that I mentioned, register modules, that should be managed through admin interface only. So it manages modules through this admin interface. admin interface. It's just that easy, and there's nothing to be thinking more. And I told you that here I'll be talking about migrations as well. So what exactly is your migrations? Let's just get along and look into it. So within which I told entirely we'll be having, and also I told that we'll have migrations kind of thing. The migrations, what actually are these migrations? Let us just see it. These migrations will actually track the databases, track any changes to your databases, any changes to your databases. So whatever the changes that are to be made to the databases. See, we told that this models.py, it is a file that actually, it is a file actually that contains databases, is it not? So models.py will contain databases, and to track the changes to that databases, to track the changes to these to this databases, to track changes to this databases, you make use of migrations, for which you run a command. So let me tell you what those migration commands are. So we just write it like from Django dot how is actually this migration happening, and completely thing related to that. So we'll have from Django, from Django, take it from there, from Django dot db, which actually it is the package in Django. It is nothing but it is the database package in Django. Database का जो भी package होता है ना Django में, उसको बोलते हैं db. It is used as an alias thing. So database के जो भी packages हैं ये db में present है. So what is db? It is a package that contains all the databases. So from Django.db you are importing, मतलब उठा लो यार वहाँ से, import कर लो models. You're importing models. So you write it as from Django.db, from Django framework, and db, which is nothing but the package that contains all the databases, import models. So models is actually the file that contains all the databases, and from this package import this models. I hope it makes sense. So package in Django that deals with everything related to the database is your db. So and then you have any changes in the databases that could be traced by migrations. I told you, right? So first thing is this one, and we are coming along with migrations actually. So for migrations you write it as python manage.py make migrations. So I told you what migrations are. They make changes to this database. See, this model contains your databases. So all your databases are being present in the models, which is nothing but a module. Module is a book, model is a page. In that pages you will have all the databases, assume that. And then if you want to make changes, any changes to the database, or if you want to track any changes to this database, you make migrations. Is that clear? And then you have manage.py. So manage.py means you should scan this manage python, scan this manage.py directory and make migrations, you will write. And now we just get along with one topic, which is migrations. So for which I actually mentioned this python manage.py migrations. For this you have, first you type from Django db import.db import models, and after which you write this command to make migrations. So I hope that's the thing actually I want to explain, and it's actually clear. And migrations actually consist of your migration files, and these migration files also actually, these files, that migration consists of migration files, these will also track the databases. So any updation that you make, any changes like update, you update your database or you delete your database in case, so all these are being tracked by this migrations itself. So python, again if you want you can make another command, that python manage.py migrate is to make changes. If you write this, then you have built a schema to make Django module. I hope it's just that clear. So now I'm talking about a topic called migrations. In that migrations, you will have to, what I talked about is the topic called migrations. and migration are nothing but the changes that you make to the database. So for that, you write from Django.db, which is nothing but the package in Django that contains all the databases. Import models. Models is again a module, or it is a file that contains databases. And for this, after typing this thing, you will make use of this thing, python manage.py make migrations. You will type make migration means make some changes to my database, and then python manager migrate, which means same, migrate, migrations, migration files. So migration is nothing but making changes. Migration files contains the thing that you want to make changes. Migrate is make changes. And after which I'll be explaining what your views are, views.py, which I told. This actually is your logical part of your Django. I told you the sender and the receiver thing that happens in your views only. And once you talk about the views, you also talk about the render thing that comes into your views. So from Django, for the render thing, you write it as from Django dot shortcuts, import render. So what is actually a render? Render is to combine template and HTTP response.